so searching for the perfect location for our venue has begun. So my bestie and I have been looking for a side hustle we can start together for like forever, it seems. And finally, we landed on the idea of opening an event venue in Los Angeles. We want to create a space where people can host birthday parties, holiday parties, pop-up shops, photography studio, you name it. So after searching websites that list commercial spaces like Crexy and LoopNet, we quickly learned that it's kind of expensive to lease in our area. It's like $3 to $3.75 a square foot. I mean, let's do the math on that. That means a 4,000 square foot space would be $15,000 a month. Say what? And that price doesn't even include triple net. So triple net is a fee that landlords charge for common area use, like maybe special insurance that the landlords have to keep on the property, and so forth. It could be 25 cents a square foot, or it could go up to $1 or more a square foot. So now that $15,000 space is now $17,600 a month. So we're thinking that our sweet spot would be around 2,000 to 2,500 square feet, or $5,000 to $7,000 a month. And a couple of wish list items are a place that has an adjacent outside space or patio, and a space for storage. We looked at a lot of places, but I'm going to show you all of them because I want to give you the real deal. Like, this is really what we're going through to find our perfect venue space. I meant it when I said I'm taking you on this journey with me. Oh, and we didn't call the realtors before we started looking at the places because first we wanted to kind of check out the parking situation and see what the vibe is like in that particular shopping center before we started wasting our time with making phone calls for a place that we may not even like. So we are literally going window shopping. Let's go. This space is in a large outdoor shopping center that has about 8 or so vacant spaces. It's 3,000 square feet. So it's out of our price range. And later we learned that it's already been rented. Now, this space is in the same shopping center. It's 2,800 square feet. The realtor told us it's also rented and going to be an ice cream shop. This space we spotted while we were driving around. It used to be a David's Bridal. It's in a really nice shopping center that has a ton of parking. Later, we found out that it's 5,500 square feet. We were thinking maybe they would split it in half for us, but when we spoke to the realtor, he was like, no, thank you, ma'am. He said the owners wouldn't be willing to split any of their spaces. Plus, they weren't interested in having an event space in their shopping center. The nerve! Yes, turns out that this is a thing. Like, not every owner is open to the idea of having an event space in their shopping center. How rude. So we moved on. This one was outside of a mall and not an ideal location. And the space itself looks like it would need a lot of work to open it up to create a ballroom area. So it's not a consideration. I think it was some type of beauty salon before. Now this space is kind of tucked away next to a movie theater. The theater is over there to the left. It used to be a yogurt shop, but I believe it's only around 800 square feet. So it's way too small. Now, this is a cute spot. The inside had some weird walls and doors that would need to be demolished, which isn't the end of the world. We like the gated patio area. There's plenty of space out there for tables and random decor. And there's the bench that's welded into the ground. Anyway, the problem with this space is that there's a dentist's office above it. Definitely concerned about getting noise complaints. Also, the layout of the space inside is broken up by a brick wall, which is kind of a bummer. But there was another space a couple of doors down. So as you can see, it used to be one of those places you can get your sweat on, like a sauna place, which means it's probably got a lot of rooms that need to be torn down. Not mad at the idea of an open ceiling concept though. But overall, the shopping center has too many businesses upstairs and down. I think we would probably be considered a nuisance to our neighbors, so it's a no for the shopping center like altogether. But we talked to the realtor anyway. The first space with the patio is already leased, and the sweaty space had a special $1 a square foot for the first 3 months. Then I believe it goes up to $3.50 a square foot afterwards. But since we weren't feeling it, we moved on. This space is across the street from the sweaty place. It sits outside of an indoor mall. Now, the space itself isn't bad, maybe a little smaller than what we would want, though, so we'll keep it on the maybe list. Now, at this point, we're just driving around town looking for lease signs. Now, this shopping center has a couple of open spaces. This unit is nice and open, but it looks a little small. But we'll call the realtor and ask about it just in case. Now, next door is a similar size space. It appears to have a restroom and storage space. Nice and open floor plan already. We'll ask the realtor about this space too. So these spaces are in a shopping center that has plenty of parking, which is super important, of course. Now, this is a different shopping center. It had a few available spaces, but the spaces were too small though. There were some workers in there tearing this place up, doing some major demo. This unit is in another shopping center we drove by. Even though you can't really see what's going on behind that fairy tale wall, it looked like a nice size space. But we spoke to the realtor the following day, and guess what? The space is already rented. Starting to see a theme here? Yeah, me too. There are a lot of advertised spaces that are no longer available. Now, this space is around the corner in the same shopping center. Now, from the outside, it looks kind of small, but it's actually pretty big. I believe he said it's between 4,000 to 5,000 square feet, which is out of our price range. Plus, he said that this space has already been rented anyway. Of all of the spaces that had for lease signs in the windows in this shopping center, the realtor said this is the only space that is available, like for real, for real. All of the other ones have been rented. It is really kind of a pain that they don't take the signs down right away, but I bet they leave them up so they can bait people like me to give them a call so they can try to sell me on other spaces they're trying to rent. That did happen a few times. Anyway, this place is in a nice location, kind of off to the side, which we like. Looks like it used to be a bank, but it's 3,500 square feet and they are asking $3.50 a square foot, which would make it a minimum of $12,250 a month. Now, this space we love. The one with the active sign, the corner space with lots of windows. Unfortunately, it too has already been leased, but the realtor said the space next door is available. Now, it's 1,900 square feet. It's long, but very narrow. We figured out that they split the active space into two. Now, if you notice, the unfinished wall on the left is where they recently built the divider wall, and the door on the right near the front is a dressing room. Not to mention, the biggest clue is the word active printed on the floor. Anyway, we didn't like how narrow this space is, so we moved on. We went across the street to check out this space. It used to be a women's gym. It's way too big for us, but hey, we were on a roll of stopping at places with for lease signs, so we peeked in. But all we could see is the reception area though. Now, this is a space we like a lot. It's a corner unit in a quiet shopping center. Quiet meaning that the other businesses close early, so we can be a little loud without disturbing our neighbors. Unfortunately, it's about 4,500 square feet and it too has already been rented. So we moved on to this older shopping center, like older for our area anyway. It actually had some spaces that were pretty decent on the inside. This one has a unique entry and there's a nice size space there. The floors look good, but these ceilings though, looks like it's got some issues. In the end, the vibe of this shopping center just isn't right for an event venue, so it's a big fat no for us. Now, this shopping center is a nice one that has a popular local restaurant that can get pretty loud, which to us meant that maybe we could get away with being loud too. We like this unit, even though it's smaller than what we were looking for. It's around 1,200 square feet. The space next door was available as well, but obviously in rougher shape. Now, we spoke to the realtor for these spaces. They want $3.75 a square foot, but they don't want an event venue in their shopping center. So never mind, we didn't want to be in your little stank shopping center anyway. Moving on. Those were the places we window shopped. We called some realtors that had spaces we wanted to tour the inside. So this is the first space we went inside of. It's 3,100 square feet. We like it because it's a large open space with huge windows that are letting in a lot of natural light. They pretty much brought this space to bare bones. Like, it's a nice blank canvas to start from. We've been toying with the idea of having stained concrete floors, and with a little bit of grinding, these floors will come out nice. The ceilings are a nice height and appear to be in good condition. It has one restroom. There's nothing special about it, but we can cute it up. There's plenty of parking and good street traffic. Now, our only concerns for this space is that a yoga studio is opening up next door, which we might disturb. And I didn't film it, but there's an odd office space behind this building that shares a wall with this unit. There's an entrance to it, but you have to go through the alley to get to the office. And it's rented out and has folks working in there. It's really kind of bizarre, but we're afraid that they might also complain about noise. But all in all, this is a good start, and it's not completely knocked off the list just yet. We took a look at another unit that is in the same shopping center, but much further down. This shopping center is huge, by the way. Now, this space we really liked. It used to be a Payless shoe store. It's a perfect square. The ceilings are a good height. There's lots of natural light coming through the large front windows. We would tear out the carpet, of course. The space has a good vibe. It's 2,700 square feet. It may not look that big, but that's because you haven't seen what's beyond that door. Look at this. It's a huge storage area. The area is almost as long as the entire unit. There's a restroom at the end that takes up about 7 feet. Otherwise, look at all of this space. No place we've looked at so far has a room like this. This is really exciting. Now, this unit has the one restroom that is really gross. Obviously, we would tear it apart and put it back together again cutely. It has great parking. It sits on a separate pad with Lindora. It's not attached to the rest of the shopping center, which we like the idea of not having neighbors on both sides. We actually walked over to Lindora to ask them about their hours. They close pretty early, so we wouldn't bother them with our event. This unit is at the top of our list. We are super excited to do more research about this space. We need to get in touch with the building and planning office to check the zoning, to make sure it's zoned for an event venue. We also haven't formed an LLC yet, so we have to get a lawyer and get that going as well. Yeah, so this is the journey so far. Will this be the future home of our venue? Make sure you tune in next time to see what happens. That's all for now. Bye.